You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
For the community, by the community.
Hey, thanks for dropping by. I'm Jeff Grandy, your host, and this is Journeys, and we're all on a journey. And we have some guests coming in every week who will share their journey with us. And today we have our guest, wonderful guest, with a very interesting account of her journey, Marla Ludwig. Marla?
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for inviting me to your program.
Well, thanks for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where were you brought up? Tell us about your...
Okay, so my name's Marla. I've always been living in West Hartford. In fact, my family's been in West Hartford since 1907. That's over 100 years. 110 years, I guess.
Yeah.
My grandfather built a house here in town. My father was born in it, and my aunts and uncles and cousins and brothers, we all grew up in West Hartford. I attended Smith School. It was in the Smith School neighborhood, and Plant Junior High, and I graduated from Hall High School. My father also graduated from Hall, although they called it West Hartford High at the time. He went to Seymour School, they called it. That was before it was Smith School. Seymour School, and then graduated from West Hartford High. There was only one high school at the time. So our whole family, most of the family still lives in town. And I now have 3 sons, a daughter-in-law, and a grandson, all living in West Hartford, and my brother.
Well, how was your Hall High experience? What was high school like for you?
It was kind of normal, I guess. I mean, it wasn't my favorite place to be, but you know, I survived.
So, after you got out, after you graduated, what'd you do after you?
Okay, I moved to New York City. I moved to New York, and I worked at the airline, at Pan American Airlines, because I wanted to get discounts on flights. I like to travel, so I wanted to have a good experience traveling. So I was able to get a few discount tickets while I worked there, and I traveled around Europe, went to many countries in Europe, and Greece and the Greek islands, Turkey. You know, I went to a lot of places. And then I left there after a while, and I came back to town, and you know, got married and raised my sons.
You did the American story. Got married, had kids.
Well, sort of. It kind of didn't work out that way, but I ended up getting divorced. I raised my 3 sons by myself.
And a single mother. And what about how about what did you do to pay the bills?
I worked. Okay, I worked at as a systems programmer, a mainframe systems programmer. I went to computer school so I could afford to raise my boys, and I worked, you know, as a computer programmer, systems programmer, all the way up until I left there about 5 years ago.
And that was, how long did you do this?
Retired.
How long were you?
Oh, 30 years, 35 years, forever it seemed like.
Raising 3 sons and working full time. Mm-hmm. And then what happened after that?
Well, my kids grew up, and then I thought that I wanted to do something like adventurous, a little bit adventurous. So I wanted to travel again, and I wanted to go someplace that I didn't know anybody who had ever been there, and I didn't know anything about the country or anything. So I just chose a place in Africa to go on my 3-week vacation from work. So I thought, I'll just take my little backpack. I got the name Backpack and Granny, and took a backpack and I went to Ghana.
Why did you choose Ghana?
Oh, I read somewhere that the people are friendly there, and that there's no war, and they speak English. So I thought, oh, that's a good place. I'll go there. I like friendly people.
So you were there for how long?
The first time I went for 3 weeks. That was in 2005. It was my 3-week vacation from work. So yeah.
Did you stay in the big cities, or did you go out to?
Well, the airport's in the big city, so it's a huge city with big buildings, and it's a very modern city, Accra, the capital. But I didn't stay there. I stayed in Sogakope. Sogakope's in the Volta region, and it's a town maybe of about 20,000 people. So I stayed with the host family there, and I met a young man who helped me out. He was about the same age as my sons, and he helped me. We went to a village, a remote village called Dalive Torsikpota. That was also in the Volta region there. We went to this village, and I brought books with me, like 3 suitcases with books. So we went to an existing school. We painted the walls, put shelves up, and put the books like all around the library. And then there was a grand opening of the library. It was awesome. Like it looked like a remote village in the middle of nowhere, but when we started, getting ready for it, we had a sound system and canopies set up. And I couldn't understand, because I'm saying, why are we doing this event here in the middle of nowhere? There's no people around. And he said, don't worry, when the drums play, the people will come. And they did. There was about 800 people that came out to see this new little library that we made.
So this was more than just a vacation for you. It involved doing something for these people.
Right, but it was a fun adventure for me too. I learned a lot. Just being in a strange country with, the culture was so different. It was a bit confusing at first, and because I was afraid at first, because I didn't know anybody. But they all were so kind to me and treated me so they were just so friendly and welcoming.
So you came back after 3 weeks. You come back here. And
I was like, that was the best vacation I've ever had. But I probably won't go back there, because I wanted to do something else the next year.
But you did go back. What happened that made you want to go back again?
I did go back. I was thinking that I wanted to go somewhere else, but one night between the first and second visit, I had a dream that, okay, you want me to tell you
about
my
Tell us about the dream, absolutely.
Okay, let me tell you about the dream. Okay, so I was driving in my car down the highway, and cars were coming at me on both sides, like this, boom, 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 and I'm driving. So I was thinking I should be scared. I don't really know at the time if I knew that it was a dream or if I thought I was really there. But I'm like, I should be afraid because I'm going the wrong way down this highway. And then all of a sudden I became calm, and I thought, oh, I'm not going the wrong way. Everybody else is going the wrong way. I'm going the right way. You see?
Wow.
So, and then I was just like going with it, and where did the car end up? And it took me back to that village. So, and then I woke up and I thought, and there was a star over the school, over that school. And it was a very profound dream. I mean, it woke me up. Sometimes people have dreams and they go back to sleep or they forget them. But this one was just so meaningful to me that it made me want to go back.
What did the bright star say to you? What did it represent?
It said to me that...
What was the message?
The message for me was that there are bright stars there. Bright stars, the kids are the bright stars, but they needed me to go back and tell them and help them become the bright stars that they are. So that's why I started Bright Star Vision. And
you went, that's...
So I went back
made you
in
go back?
2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. I went back every year, at least once. So I'll be there again in the month of September. So.
And what other projects, you've been back,
12 times?
12 times?
12 or, I lost count kind of, but at least once a year since 2005.
And every time you go there, what do you do between trips? You raise money?
Well, for money, yes. Okay. First of all, I completely downsized my life. You know, like I live simply, like it's a Quaker thing, but live simply so others can simply live. So I don't spend money. I mean, I try not to spend a lot of money. So so I can afford my tickets every year. So now I retired, so I'm on Social Security. But anyway, my expenses are very low. So I can have enough money to go back every year and work on the school. I mean, there's a school building going up because the kids there were, the kindergarten kids were meeting outside in a very crummy kindergarten. And they asked me if I could help them build another kindergarten. So I did that.
Well, why be so concerned about people that live a half a world away that you don't even know, you didn't even know? Why? Some people would say, why? Why bother with that?
I am fortunate enough to have found my passion. You know, like I'm connected to them. They're like my family now that I go back there all the time. They give me a warm welcome. And it's like a human to human thing. It's just something I have to do and want to do.
So it's not just people in your immediate environment that you're connected to. You feel a connection to
totally.
all people.
Totally.
All human beings that share this this earth plane, this short life we have. There's a connectedness to all of us.
Well, we're only on this planet for a short amount of time. So what would my life be for? What's my life for if I don't do what I want to be doing, or, helping the people that I want to help?
So tell us about some of the things that what are you doing? What are some of the projects that you're doing there? And while you're telling us, the people can hopefully they will hear or see some tape of the village that you brought in, because
Okay.
we want them to see the people and the projects that you're working on. So tell us about some of them.
Okay. Well, the school, building the kindergarten is one thing, because of that. And so that's my favorite village to go to, is the Dalibeg Torsakpota. It's a village of about 800 people. And then I've gone to other villages too, to see what their needs are. And actually the most important thing that I can do for the people, or for the kids there, is to help them go to school so that they can become the future leaders of Ghana. So, so we have a program called In the Queue. One of my sons went over there one time. He wanted to find out what I was up to, what's my mom been doing over there all these years. So he went there, and that was fun. Anyway, he went there and he met a couple of kids he asked them what class they were in school, and they said they didn't go to school. They didn't go to school because they didn't have shoes and they didn't have a uniform. So he was like, okay, so we bought them shoes and uniforms and school supplies, and they went off to school. And then he suggested that we start a program called In the Queue. It's just kids that are waiting in the queue to go to school. So that's what we do now, and I match them up with donors. So I have a donor and a recipient. Now, these two that were small kids, and some of them are young ones that started at the beginning of our program, but now we only take the ones that have finished junior high school. They have to do very well on their exam. There's an exam that's given at the end of junior high, 8th grade. And based on the results of the exam, the government places them in a high school, like a boarding high school. So I take the ones with the best grades and the ones that have been working. A lot of kids have to work and they don't make it out of high school. And some of them don't even make it out of junior high school because they don't have the uniform or something. They don't have funds.
So you provide some of the fund goes to paying like scholarship kind of
yes.
School fees. And what about the libraries and the books and the the actual structure that you're building?
There's a library. I have a house over there, and the living room is a library. So I've sent thousands of books. The first time I went, a little boy asked me if I would bring him a book, just for his very own book, because the books that I brought the first time were in a little library. And he said, "Can you bring me a book so I can have my very own book?" And I thought, wow. So I've sent thousands of books since then. People donate books, children's books, gently used. And I pack them up and I ship them they go by ship. It takes 6 weeks to get there. So I just now recently sent 15 boxes of books and walkers and some crutches that were donated.
Walkers and crutches. So you find people who were have some physical difficulty.
Well, the first time I went, there was a boy in this particular village. After the whole ceremony was over, I saw him come crawling on the ground and just pulling himself along, like dragging his legs behind him, because he didn't have a wheelchair. His legs, I don't know what he has, maybe cerebral palsy or something, but he didn't have any way to get around until he just dragged himself on the ground on a chair. So my friend Karen got a wheelchair, and we sent it. And then it became kind of oldish, so I sent another wheelchair after that. But it gets worn out quickly. But now I have another program called In the Queue for Mobility. So I have In the Queue for Education. The donors pay $300 a year for the student, and the funds go directly to the high school to pay their fees. And then there's also In the Queue for Apprenticeship. It's for the kids that haven't quite made it for high school, but they're really dedicated. So I have a seamstress. We got her a sewing machine so she can start her business and learn the trade. And then an auto mechanic, needed tools to get started. So that's the apprenticeship program, and the donors pay $200 a year for those kids. And then In the Queue for Mobility is $50.
So you go over there for 6 weeks. You go over there a couple times a year.
Mm-hmm.
You come back, and you get more donations, raise more money to continue with all of the stuff that you're working on over there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go back over there and kind of oversee that.
Right. Well,
and then come back, and
mm-hmm.
That's a pretty that's a heck of a mission. It's a lot of work.
I guess.
But you like it.
I do. I love it.
Well,
I love it.
Well,
I love it because I know that I'm making a difference. I could see. I mean, these kids. Some of the kids can't go to high school. Can you imagine? They aren't able to go to school because they have to work. One boy made a wagon out of. He got some wheels and wood, and he made a wagon, and he helps people carry things back and forth. Little boys working. There's people selling pure water on the street. Kids, they're running. One girl she goes to the forest every day, chops down trees to sell the firewood. She worked for a whole year, or longer than a year, just to get her admission to a high school. So she's one of the girls in the queue now. We wanted to help her. She's very grateful. Because, they have to work a little bit. Like, it's okay to be working yourself through school, but not to that extent where you're working from morning till night, farming or something, and then still not being able to go to school because you have to use money to eat and everything. So,
what would you say? How would you distinguish between? What's the difference between a handout and a hand up?
Okay, so I'm giving them a hand up. It's not a hand up. It's not a hand out, because I give them the books to enable them to learn to read. And then the ones that are successful are able to go on to school. So really, they're the ones that are going to take over and help other people. It's just giving them a start.
So providing people who were otherwise unable to, for whatever reason, they're unable to pay for their own education or get an education or buy books or buy a walker or whatever, helping them with that is not necessarily always a hand out.
No, I don't think it is. It's just giving them something that they need just so that they can become successful. Give them some hope for the future, you know.
Yeah, right.
Because, I mean, yeah. A lot of them are orphans, so they don't have parents to pay for them. And it's not like, you know, like, it's not just a short struggle in their family. This could be going on for years or generations where they're just struggling, and this could be the first child that in the area that is able to go to high school.
So do you think that being, not just in Ghana, but anywhere, being born into a certain situation where resources are scarce and your nurturing is not as good as it could be, it makes a difference in a person's life?
Of course it does, yes it does, but the people there are so happy. They're happier than the people that you see around here. Like, it seems like the more you have, the more complaints there are. I mean, that's just what, they don't have anything. They come out happy, joyful, singing, dancing. They love to dance and drum and sing. You know, it's just like they're very happy people.
Wow. Well,
and I learned a lot from there, yeah.
Tell us about, you got some things here, people are looking at that. I take it these are from some artwork, carvings from Ghana.
Right.
Tell us about them.
Mm-hmm, there's a wood carving village, and they hand carve these carvings, and like this is the thinking man, a famous statue. This one here is called Life is Precious. It's a hand holding an egg. It's just to symbolize life is precious.
Oh.
So you see the hand there, and this one is three people holding up the globe. It's for unity. You know, it's a unity.
Now these are people these are hand carved by
yes,
by the people, by the artists.
Right, and then I pay them for the. Oh, this one shows the woman's struggle. She's carrying this on her head, and she's got a baby on her back, and you know, the struggle of the woman there. And then there were wood carvings with a man, a woman, and 2 children all. And I said, oh, but that one doesn't depict my family, so can you do one that is for me? So they made a mother and 3 sons for me. So this one's especially for me. And
How about this?
Well, I think he's playing some kind of an instrument. Looks like
Oh,
he's
yeah,
playing
the guy's got
playing
the
a
arms, he's
kind of a
holding something.
saxophone or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of an instrument. So I bought them over there, paid the people to make them, and then if anyone's interested in purchasing one, they can contact me at my email address.
That's a good point. What if the people out there want to just learn more about the Bright Star Vision and more about what you're doing and want to get some information, what can they? How can they get a hold of you?
I'm on Facebook. There's a Facebook page, Bright Star Vision, and I have another Facebook page, In the Queue for education, mobility, and apprenticeship. And then I have an Instagram account called In the Queue, and my email address is backpackingranny@yahoo.com.
Backpackingranny@yahoo.com.
Yes.
Marla Ludwig.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
And you know, so if anybody wants to, I have these handbags. There's a seamstress that makes the handbags for me, and you know, I bring them back. And if people want to buy one, then all the money that I get goes right back to the projects. Maybe pays for shipping of the books, because periodically I'll send 15 or 20 boxes of books over there.
Do you have any plans? I think you already have. Haven't you had some of the kids over there come here?
Not from my group. I've had some friends that I met that were able to come here, but I haven't sponsored them exactly. But a lot of people have joined me on one of my trips. So I'll be there during September when this program is on. But I will go back again in the winter, probably maybe February or March. So if anyone's interested in joining me on an adventure to Ghana, I have a little house with a guest room. You're welcome to join me. So they should just contact me and we can go from there.
Well, very good, very good. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. That is that from
So many,
West Hartford Hall High to three kids, single mother. Sounds like it's been quite a journey,
yes.
and been some challenges and ups and downs. But you've really made an effort to make something of make a contribution to people, and that's a wonderful spirit.
I've always done some type of volunteer work here, but I found that when I did this, it really brought it home. Like, I really feel like what I'm doing is making a one-to-one connection with people and making a real difference for them. And they have enriched my life too. It's just amazing.
What else? Any last thoughts?
Well,
Did we?
well, I have greeting cards here. My son, when my son was there, he's a photographer. He took the photos and then made these greeting cards for me. It was amazing when he came. He went there once by himself in 2010. Then in 2012, I was there. It was during December. It was a couple weeks before Christmas, and they told me, they knocked on my door and said, "You have a visitor." And I was so surprised. It was my son. Walking down the street of this small town, he found me there. I was just beside myself. I was so happy.
Wow.
He just thought it would be fun to like pop in on me and surprise me over there.
So anybody who wants to get involved in any way is more than welcome to
Yes.
join you on your journey.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
And also join you on your journey and your program. This is a great way to tell about your adventure. And
well, that's the idea. We want to just cut the show off here for today, but just to repeat that for all of you people out there, everybody, all of our lives are a journey, and anybody out there who would like to share your journey, the ups and the downs and the trials and tribulations and the joy along the way that you've experienced in your life, you'd like to share that journey with others, you think it's worthwhile, please, my email is jeff.w.grandy@gmail.com. Call up the station here. It should be on the graphic at the close of the show. And again, thank you very much for dropping in. And by the way, the next time you find yourself judging others, remember, all may not be as it seems. You must know just how they feel. You can tell by your own broken dreams. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in.